It's fun to just get off the main road and just drive. Anybody can do it.
Mm.
You can literally just get in your car, go somewhere that just let the road take you and see what you find.
This is Grounded in Granite, where every person and every place has a story to tell. I'm Jason Schreiber. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Grounded in Granite. I'm in Northwood, New Hampshire on beautiful Harvey Lake, and my guests today are Paul and Heatha Normandin, and they have actually embarked on quite a mission. A few years ago, they decided that they were going to visit every town and city in New Hampshire. So you guys have been traveling all around the state. You've hit, well, we got about almost 240 communities. You guys have traveled to how many so far? About
64%.
64,
154,
about 154 towns. And you can see on the behind us on the map here in New Hampshire, we got all these pins in all across the state, except for far northern New Hampshire. So you've got some work to do up there.
That's a hike.
That's a hike. That'll be a hike.
We're saving that for the end.
Yeah. And you guys find landmarks to visit and all this. So it's a cool story. And I think you guys might be able to give us some good recommendations on things that people might be able to enjoy visiting during, especially during the summer months and probably even winter. I don't know. You guys have probably been all seasons checking out all these towns. So it's quite a journey you've been on. And I did want to point out that this is Heatha, not Heather. So, some of us in New England don't pronounce our R's, and I wanted people to know, I once in a while I slip and I miss an R, but I wanted people to know that it is actually Heatha with an A. How did that come about, Heatha?
So when I was little, when I was like elementary school, my cousin would send me letters and she would kind of make fun of me and because I don't pronounce my R.
Okay.
She would drop all the ERs in my letter and include dear Heatha. Heatha, and then it stuck, and even my parents started writing it when I was little, so I just went.
So you have been Heatha your pretty much your whole life.
Yep.
Okay. So I just wanted people to know that I'm not mispronouncing it. It is Heatha. So, well, you guys explain when you started this, how this idea came about to travel all around New Hampshire. Obviously, you love New Hampshire and have probably seen a lot of towns that some we didn't even know existed.
Sure. So, well, 3-4 years back, I had an enduro motorcycle that I would just go out on a ride and get lost and find some back roads and things, places you wouldn't normally go. So then, decided to get rid of that, and then the thought just came to me, why don't we're looking for something to do, why don't we just go and drive? A lot of people don't just go and drive. You drive your same way to work, you drive your same way to the supermarket, you don't get off the beaten path. Take the road less traveled, and you're going to find things just outside your immediate circle. And then Bennett said, well, we're doing this, why don't we just do every town? And that's really how it started.
That's how it started. Yeah. That is really cool. And so this was what year? This was
2022.
2022 was when this kind of started.
Yeah, the idea, but I think we started in 2023.
2023, actually visiting. And so explain kind of how you decide where you're going to go next, and like what is that process like? You do a ton of research beforehand, right?
So we kind of look to see what kind of time frame we have because we have rentals and we both work full time.
Okay,
so we kind of look to see like, do we have any cleanings we have to do?
Yeah.
So if we do, we have to stay around.
Yeah.
We rent from May to October. So those months we kind of stay nearby, but in the winter months or November, we might go further.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we'll stay over so we can hit like 10 towns, stay somewhere, hit another 10 on the way back. And then sometimes like last night we just went out to 3 towns. So really we kind of look at what our schedules are before, and then we start to plan. So we'll look at the map, kind of see what touches what. And then we'll start doing like research on Facebook. I'll Google like interesting things in the town, ask people. And what's funny is sometimes we'll like map it out and we think they're really connected or close, and they're not. And then we also realize that this map is missing all of Lake Winnipesaukee. So you kind of think something's connected and you forget there's a little lake here.
Oh, there's the towns are there, but the lake is missing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Which town did you start? Which was your first one? Do you know?
It must have been close. We probably did like Chichester and Epsom, things like that.
First ones.
Yeah, were some of the first ones, and even those were fruitful and had some pretty cool stops. I'd have to look back at my notes.
Right. Yeah. No. Well, that's okay. Yeah. Do you guys have some favorites that you can share and what you did? And I don't know if you got. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely have favorites.
Yeah,
so I have 4 favorites.
Okay.
One of them is called the Ice House in New London.
Oh.
No idea what it was. We went, and for me, I was thinking. I don't really know what I was thinking. I thought it had to do with ice, literally ice, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And what did you think it was gonna be?
Yeah, I thought it was just a throwback to when they used to carve ice out of the lake, and you were going to see some museum tools.
Yeah.
That was about it.
So we get there, and it's free. You can do donations if you want. There's some elderly men, hanging around, and it's this big building, and they had like an old wooden car. They had old military vehicles. They had T models in this whole big barn.
Multiple barns.
Yeah. Started with that. And we went through, and they told us specifically all the ins and outs of all of the cars.
Wow.
Then he was like, oh, do you want to see this building? And then you just walk from, it's just a big farmhouse. Like you go from building to building. They had a whole building of old toys from different decades. And they had old fire engines. They had a building of old tools.
Yeah.
And so with the Ice House, why it's called that is because people who would be up here during the summer, but then would travel south for warmer weather, and they were rich and they had the cars like the T Model 4s, and they didn't want to bring them down there. So they would store them for them in their barns and their ice houses.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and then this gentleman, Mr. Kidder, who got it in like 1950s, he then started collecting all of this stuff and making it bigger and bigger.
I see.
And then we got to ride in one of the
you
old,
did?
We have a photo of it too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was one of the old wooden vehicles, like old.
It was like an old minivan. Kind of. We sat in rows, and they said they used to use it to drive people from the hotel that was in the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was great. And those are what we call gems, and then the gems are the ones that make you want to do the deep dive. After we left there, I think we were researching even while we were driving to the next stop to find out more. It's those ones that spark that next level of interest.
That's what's cool about Aladdin. Like we just did the Coolidge.
So we were on
mansion.
We were on our way to Fort Stark to take pictures of the lighthouse from the shore. And we saw the signs for the Coolidge mansion. And we're like, let's just pull down there.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be phenomenal.
Huh. Wow.
But like it was closed. So we took the picture. We went, you can go on the land, but then, so now we have notes to go back to it.
Okay.
So, so sometimes we're finding things, and then we're realizing like, oh, like Paul said, like we want to like learn more about it, or we want to see more. So then we'll go back. And then another interesting one was.
It's so cool. It's impressive. That you guys.
It's so interesting. Like sometimes, sometimes they're duds, and then sometimes they're not, and you want to like research it even more. One of my other favorite ones was in Warner, the Telephone Museum. I think you've heard of it.
I had an episode on the Telephone Museum.
Fantastic.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It was out of the blue for us.
Yeah.
You walk in and you're like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so many cool facts too. Like I was like, oh, everyone thinks that, but that's not true. And so
and it's communication. It's more than just the Telephone Museum. And so that's
like all
a cool
the military communications devices too.
So that's a cool place. So
yes, that was very cool. Yeah. And then my other two is Henniker. In Henniker, there's an old
Henniker. See, Henniker.
There's the old Post number 6 Book Depot. Have you been there? That?
No, I know. I wanted to do an episode there, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyways,
he's an interesting fellow.
Cool. It sounds like a cool place.
It's amazing.
It's a big barn.
Yeah.
And it is packed.
Yeah.
160,000 books.
Oh, yes. That's amazing.
I mean,
from the outside, it's unassuming.
Yeah.
When you walk in and you're like, I just walked into this guy's mind.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I mean, it's just stop.
Yeah.
Floor to ceiling, and it just keeps going 2 levels. So that's interesting to see that many books there in one place.
Right.
And then one that we recently just went to was the Franklin Pierce House in Hillsborough. Okay. So he was our 14th president.
Yeah.
And it's his childhood home, which I had no idea.
Oh.
So I think that was cool because I was like, oh, there was a president who lived here in New Hampshire, like when he was a kid. I had no idea. So then we, again, deep dived into that and toured the old house and everything. And I love old houses because I was raised in one. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
those are my
So those are your okay.
So for me,
Paul, what did you have?
I've got the top 3. I've got the John Hay estate at the Fells. Are you familiar with that?
No.
And it's in Newbury, and it's amazing. John Hay was the personal secretary to Abraham Lincoln. He then became Secretary of State for the whole country. And then he was good friends with Theodore Roosevelt, who often visited. It was at its height, a 1,000 acre estate, mansion, fields, farms, lakeshore. It's now down to 83.5 acres. And you can go and visit. I think it was $10 to go in, and just walking the halls of the home, you can just feel the history. It was gorgeous. I got a lot of ideas for landscaping. It was just one of those ones, you don't think it's going to be anything, and you drive down this little dirt road to the shack where you buy your ticket, and then just this world opens up. It's so much different than our, like, we have to stop at a town hall and take a photo. You get something like this, and you're like, whoa, this is unbelievable.
And they preserved it, so it is back from when it was built.
Yeah, it is.
It's got the little like servant corners, and then it's got like
all the old
grand
fixtures and all that sort of stuff. My next one this is completely opposite. It's Frog Rock in New Boston. You've ever heard of Frog Rock in New Boston?
I have, but tell.
All right, so Frog Rock is literally what it says. It's a granite piece of rock that looks like a frog. Yeah. The thing that was fascinating to me about that is people would plan their whole visit to come up to Frog Rock from as far as Boston, 75 miles away, just to have a picnic and sit next to this thing and stay at a hotel overnight. That would be unfathomable today. Nobody would plan your picnic around a simple little rock. And you see it now. It's all the trees are all back. There's empty cellar holes everywhere. So you think whole lifetimes happened around this rock, and it gives you a sense of perspective of what was. And just the appreciation for other people's lives and experiences. A simple rock in the woods, but to me, it was just as exciting as the John Hayes estate.
And to interrupt you, we looked up old photos of it, and it was clearing. Like, there was not the forest around it. It was just the rock, and then there would be the people from 100 years ago in their fancy outfits with the rock.
The hotel would drive them over. It was the thing to do. And my last one, I have many more, but my last great one is Fuller Gardens over in Northampton. I'm familiar with that one. So you're.
I am familiar, but
that was Alvin Fuller. He was a businessman, and he was a bicycle racer in his youth, and he was competing in Europe, and he brought back a couple of bicycles. And he brought back a couple of automobiles to sell. He created the first dealership in Boston and made his fortune selling cars. And he became governor of Massachusetts as well. And he had an estate built called Runnymede by the Sea, and it was a summer home, giant summer home. And then he had commissioned across the street on some of their other property, the Fuller Gardens and the Carriage House. That's all that's left today, but it was definitely worth the stop and visit. Again, another huge deep dive. I'd never heard of this. I'd never seen this. And when you walk, you can just imagine what it must have been like for that house to still be there, and the money and the time and the commitment. Again, their whole life, whole life happened there. And like they made those decisions to make these pathways and do this and do that. It's just, you kind of walking in the footsteps of these other people, and it's really fun.
So those are your favorites. You've had some towns that you just kind of could barely even find, right? Or you mentioned earlier.
Like sometimes.
What can you think of?
So sometimes we can't find anything. And so, we'll do a town hall, but sometimes we're like, well, let's go look. I think it was Umbridge or Numberland something.
Uxbridge, maybe,
No, it was up Number something.
Yeah, it was one of those ones up in Pulaski County.
Northumberland.
It might have been that.
That might have been it.
It's a little, just north of Lancaster.
Yeah, I think that was one that we just couldn't find anything. Like, we were driving, like, all right, we'll find something, and we drove, and then all of a sudden we were like,
there's a job lot. Yeah,
we could have done.
I think we did see that.
Oh, did you?
And I think that's when we turned around to go back.
Oh, that's
all of a sudden we were through the town, and we're like, okay, and we saw like an old abandoned house, but it was like old, so we're like, okay, let's go take a picture with that.
Okay,
and if we say we do 8 towns or plan to do 8 towns, if we get 4 that are memorable, if we get 2 that are awesome, then we're pretty lucky,
And what I find interesting too, what I started to do, but I wasn't doing it on purpose, like I didn't plan to do it, is I, in our book with the town and what we do, I write down the population, because sometimes that answers why there wasn't anything in the town.
Right, exactly. So you've got this this book here that looks like it's from the 1700s, but you got what? So this is the book where you put all of your photos.
Yeah. So I put do you want me?
Yeah. Well, you can kind of show a little bit and maybe talk.
So we put
like where you.
So we'll put the town.
Molten Borough.
Yep. Well, yeah.
Old Country, the Old Country Store, which I think we're gonna have an episode on that soon. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. But okay, Old Country Store.
So we do the town, what we did, like what season and year.
Yeah.
Anything, I don't have a lot of room to write, so I'll write a little blurb, and then, like I said, I do the population. Yeah. So there's all types of things.
Alexandria. Yeah. Okay.
So, like we said, some of them are just the town halls, but a lot of them are the unique places that we mentioned. Covered bridges. We'll hit the covered bridges.
Yeah.
And we actually, at the Franklin Pierce House, we just found a book about of all the New Hampshire covered bridges. And then I said to Paul, hey, let's buy that, because when we're done with the towns, we can do all the covered bridges.
I kind of wish we would have incorporated all that at once.
But,
we don't have a lot of towns left, so it'll be something fun to do.
Yeah.
Newmarket. Cornish. What's in Cornish? Do you remember what was?
It was a covered bridge.
A covered bridge. Oh, yes, covered bridge.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we found a lot of railroad, old railroad stations.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, so you're in Grafton. Is that Grafton? Yeah.
Yeah. What does it say we did there?
So where did you didn't go to?
Oh, Grafton. Okay. So you were just talking about towns where there was nothing. Grafton was a town there was nothing.
But there's Ruggles Mine. I was just there. So, but it open? It might not have been open when you started.
This is winter for us.
Reopened.
Yeah.
Right. It wouldn't have been open anyways. Yeah.
So we grabbed this random church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We pulled over and let's take a picture there.
Yeah. It's a small town, but yeah.
One of the things that was funny, it's up by Littleton. There's a bridge that's up there that got a truck went and knocked it.
Oh,
so covered bridge that was.
Is that the one in
Lancaster?
There was Lancaster, I think.
Yes.
They hit the bridge.
Yes.
Whatever.
So what's funny about that was we did a bunch of towns. We stayed in Littleton at Airbnb, and we had seen the bridge, and that was our picture. And there was some of the covered bridges are not well taken care of, and some are.
Yeah.
And so that one had some broken wood, and we're like, it's not taken care of very well, right? We took our picture. We go back to the Airbnb. And then I'm watching the news, and a box truck had went through it, and it damaged it, and then they had closed it off. And I was like, "Oh, hey,
that explains
there was an accident. They were leaving 2 hours before we got there."
Oh my
so that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
And we like to look for antique shops, junk shops, thrift stores. We try to find little trinkets and things to decorate our cottages with. We kind of have a set mission. Like if we can find a country store first, antique store, and then something of interest, and we just go. It's fun to just get off the main road and just drive. Anybody can do it. You can literally just get in your car, go somewhere, just let the road take you and see what you find. You'll be fascinated. We found an area this weekend where you could tell it was old money. That's Heather's term.
Yeah.
The homes, you could tell back in the day, that's where people with money lived. And it was just beautiful to see the architecture. There was nothing specific we were doing there, but it was just fun. You don't need to spend a ton of money to go somewhere fancy. New Hampshire's got it all.
So then that is part of the message here. I mean, people, I suppose when you talk to people, you kind of stress that, you can find a lot of cool stuff right here in your own town. The Granite State.
I mean, think about it. Like most people just probably stay within a 10-mile circle of your home. I mean, you travel for work, but how often do you take a different way to work or a different way to wherever you're going to go, or just randomly drive? And you'll find things, like I said, you just didn't even know were in your own backyard. And then it'll expand from there, and you'll have a map on your wall pretty soon. But it's super fun. And I like to talk to a lot of the people. Heather, not so much. There was one town.
You don't like
no.
I forget what town it was, and that's probably
that's a surprise.
If you're under 10, I like to talk to them.
She's a kindergarten teacher, so yeah.
There was a town we stopped at, and it escapes me now. But the thing that I remember is we stopped at a little country store for a sandwich or a drink or whatever. And I got talking to the woman that was serving us, and I said, what's the town known for? And there was a townie at the counter.
Yeah.
And he said that the store was town owned. That I've never heard of such a thing. And that they all pitch in to keep the store going. And the store used to be known for mining back in the day.
It's a town owned.
Yeah.
Do you remember where it was?
I can look at. I've got my paperwork.
We have to get them on the podcast.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. And like
we're going to be a good resource for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, my gosh.
And like you said, there was, like a resident there at the, at the table having his coffee, and then he chatted with us. And it was town owned.
That is
not town owned, individually owned. A bunch of the town people owned it all together. Yeah,
okay.
that was cool.
Yeah, I'll find that for you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
It's very cool.
So have you had any kind of not so fun experiences anywhere? Or we don't necessarily have to name the town, but
okay, so
or scary experiences?
No, I'm going to tell this story. This is
personal.
This is a personal, embarrassing story.
Oh,
we were up in Coos County, and anybody that knows that area it could be far in in between stops.
Yeah, it's a great Northwoods.
Well, nature was calling. Bad.
Yeah.
And boy, things sometimes you have to do.
Yeah.
He wasn't feeling so good.
And I wasn't feeling well on that trip. It was a trip we probably shouldn't have taken.
Yeah.
We stayed at an Airbnb, which was a glorified shed.
Oh. Okay.
No shade, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that was a trip I was happy to come home from.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was probably the worst. Knock on wood, we've never had a breakdown in any of our vehicles.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did in our little red car.
Yeah.
We try to take our little red convertible. We got a little Pontiac Solstice, and it's fun. We were somewhere on the coast at a Goodwill, and the car wouldn't start. Like, oh no, what are we going to do? But luckily, it was a standard. Most people don't know what standards are anymore.
Yeah.
And we were able to pop the clutch.
Yeah.
And get home. So that was probably a personal story and a vehicle story. But other than that, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
And you've met a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And too, like a lot of people, like a lot of the stuff people don't really seem to know about because of, like some of the places where we go, where it might be like, they give tours or there has to be somebody manning it. Like people are thrilled like that we're there. And so, they don't get a lot of people.
And once they find out what we're doing, it engages them so much more. And I love being able to just break the ice with them a little bit and get them to talk. I mean, you know what it's all about. And they'll tell you some small known facts about what you're looking at or who you're looking for or whatever. And it's fantastic. I mean, I wish I could incorporate a little bit of what you do when we go to a town. There's just no time for it other than if somebody at the stop or whatever, but it's great. It's just a fun way to spend the day.
Oh, yeah.
And even it doesn't cost anything except for the gas. I mean, most of the places we go, it doesn't cost anything, or if it does, it's donation, might be like $4 for a tour. Like sometimes we'll go, like we did Fun Spot. So like we go knowing that we're going to spend some money, but you don't have to. You can find everything that's just for free.
And the great thing is our state is pretty small.
It is.
I mean, you can be across the state in a couple hours or up north in 4. Right, so you can do a loop.
Right.
Say you're going to take a Saturday and go out for 6 hours. Well, there's some places you can get a lot more towns because they're so close together.
Right.
And I'm excited to do our trip out here down along the Mass border.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some fantastic gems.
Hey, you got to get over to Cheshire County over there.
Yeah. We're saving that one. That's going to be an overnighter.
Yeah.
Because we can literally do all these and then loop back.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Getting out, stopping, and all those, but it's fun. I'm almost sad that it's starting to fill up.
Yeah.
What will you do when you've hit them all?
Yeah, well,
covered bridges.
Covered bridges.
Okay, so then you can kind of
We got a list of things we want to go back and do. Like in Sunapee, we found an awesome cruise.
Yeah.
You cruise the Sunapee. Sunapee. We're going to go do that. So we're compiling a list of extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes, too, like, we'll find one thing, and then we see other things as we're driving, so then we'll stop in there and be like, oh, we got to come back for this. So it's kind of cool because it creates, other day trips and other activities that we can do.
Yeah.
And I know you guys aren't world travelers. So you are very local. You love to just explore.
We are homebodies. If we don't have to go anywhere, we won't.
Yeah.
And so this it's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. This is definitely perfect.
So if anybody is a homebody, this is something
a great way
you don't have to interact with people if you're one of those people that don't like to, which is great. You can just go out and you can look from the window of your car if you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes we crawl around these places and we're trying to set up for a good photo, and I'm always wondering, is somebody watching us from the window?
Yeah.
What are they thinking? Because we're taking pictures of kind of odd things sometimes. Who would do that?
Yeah, we're just taking selfies.
Yeah.
They got out of
a
their car and
selfie
took
of
a
something.
selfie.
Yeah.
Get back in the car. Let's go.
Yeah. What's the oddest landmark? Is there a landmark that you could say was like the strangest you visited? Can you think of anything?
One wasn't exactly strange, but it was not what I expected. The sculpted rocks in Hebron, I think I'm saying that right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
don't
vision
know.
sculpted rocks to either be sculpted rocks like shapes and monuments,
like set up,
or the stacks.
Yeah.
And we get there, and there's a bunch of people there. There's a river, and it says that we're there, and like we're walking around, we're looking, and we're like, "Where's the sculpted rock?" It was just literally the river and the natural rocks that have been sculpted from the river.
It looked like Flume Gorge,
naturally sculpted.
But not really.
But it would have been amazing
like
to swim
in mini.
Yeah, there was like a swimming hole, big area that was just like it looked like a big bowl that the water had carved into the rocks, and then there was the channel that went up, but that was all sculpted. People were swimming in it. It looked fantastic.
So
and that explains why when we parked in the parking lot, people were coming with their bathing suits.
Because we were like, why are they in the bathing suits to look at sculptures and monuments? You know.
But that was an unexpected one, which turned out to be awesome. And memorable. And some of the the town hall pictures, not memorable.
But some of them are cool. We just went to one. I forget where, but it was like a really old building. And it had been someone's house, and they had done additions to it, and we were peeking in the window because it wasn't open. But because we like the old houses, so some of the town halls we go to, they have history.
Yeah, because they're old for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you tell people what you're doing, or when you tell friends and family, what are they like?
Everyone.
Oh my God.
I'll post our trips on Facebook, like with the pictures, and just say like we did 4 more towns, and all my friends say they love it. Like, and a lot of them are like, I want to do it. And like you said, I was like, do it.
You should have started like a public page so people could have followed along.
Yeah. We're not tech savvy. I would have loved to do like even vlog it, but that even gets a little more weird when you're I don't these darn kids do it. I don't know,
But like, I'm a paper pencil type of person, so I did the book, but like you said, it would have been very cool to have documented it on like, Instagram or,
because it definitely gives people ideas on day trips and whatever.
And it's even good. It doesn't have to be just a couple. You could bring your kids with you, because there's a lot of these things that are educational, that teach about history. We found one town that had this giant wooden roller, and come to find out it was a snow squasher from back in the day. It would be drawn by horses, and that's how they would flatten the snow so they could get by. I never knew what that was, and now I know.
I've seen one of those somewhere. I don't know where. Probably where.
I feel bad we don't know the towns again. But
you've been to some. I mean,
but that's why we have the book. We can go back.
So you've been to what is again? How many towns again?
154.
154.
Planning to do probably 8 or 10 this weekend.
Yeah, we have them.
Yeah, we're gonna be hitting. We're gonna
a marathon weekend coming.
In
Rockingham County. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna finish that one off. It's close, local.
So some of these towns you've been to but not to like explore.
So even though we've been there, we don't mark it until we've been there for this.
Okay.
So like even in Fremont, like we're in Fremont every day working, but we're like, nope. And we recently did that one. Of course, we took a picture of that. Was cool.
Yes.
But and like Danville, we haven't done Danville. We lived there for 18 years. So even though we've been there, there's no pin there because we haven't gone there yet
officially.
So
so that's funny.
Yeah. So we don't put a pin in until we've actually done it for this purpose.
Okay. She's got to make sure that's official that way.
Which is funny
because he said that he was like, all right, wait, do we already put pins? I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah,
and it's going to force us to, like you said, we lived in Danville for a long time. We're going to try our hardest to find something we don't know in Danville. If we can do that, that'll be an accomplishment.
Jeez. Well, if you can find the monkey, the Danville monkey, then you will have quite the story to tell.
We're looking forward to going up to top of Coas County. A while back when I used to work at the steel shop, I was commissioned to make a metal statue for the Chaos and Kindness show. It was for a family where the father was dying of cancer. And it was to commemorate him and his children. And we made this 10-foot tall metal sculpture that got painted and presented to him. And it's up do you remember where? It's in Pittsfield. It's a secret location they don't want to disclose, but they let us know where it is. And
in Pittsfield?
No, in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh. Okay, I was going to say Pittsfield's down.
So when we were looking at the map, and Paul was like, oh, there's that statue that, me and my work had made. And that would be cool to I wonder where that is. So I did some digging and I found the wife on Facebook. So I messaged her and I said, like, where exactly is it? And I told her what we're doing. So she told me where it was. And so that's going to be like our photo in that town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
so that's neat.
something I'm excited for.
Any other towns coming up that you know might be really cool, or any other places that you know of at the moment, or?
Pelham's got a place in my heart. As a boy growing up in Lowell, Massachusetts, I used to have to go to a camp every 2 months, 2 weeks out of the summer. My mother used to make me go. It was called St. Mary's of the Pines.
Yeah.
And it's no longer there, but I want to find where it used to be.
Okay.
And just doing a deep dive there, trying to find out where it was. Pelham used to be the place to go. It was the Wolfboro of New Hampshire a long time ago. There were hotels, there were resorts, and Pelham, it's all gone. But just on the computer, I was able to make a trip in my mind.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to go to Pelham.
Yeah.
But that's.
And you grew up in Plaistow.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So do you have Plaistow marked here? Have you done something there?
We have not done Plaistow, I don't believe, because we're going to take a picture of the house I grew up in.
You're going to, okay.
Yep, because I lived there for 21 years, and it was the Union House. I'll tell you about it. So it was the Union House. It was built in 1740s, and it was on the corner of Mayray and Plaistow, and then there had been a fire in the 1800s, and 2/3 of it burned down, and they moved it over 4 lots to where it is now when I lived there. And the barn is converted into a different house that's 2 lots over. And in the history books at the Plaistow Historical Society, George Washington stopped there on his way from Exeter to Hebron. So it's got a lot of history, and I grew up there for 21 years, so
and
Paul and I can take a picture
definitely
there.
haunted.
Yeah, I have ghost stories.
Definitely haunted.
Oh yeah,
I have ghost stories. Like, yeah, for real.
It's another episode.
Yes. It's
haunted. Yeah, ghost stories.
And just something that we did this weekend when we were out by the sea, we came across Wentworth by the Sea. We always know that was a fancy, super fancy, smancy hotel. Well, we just stayed for our 30th anniversary down in a lighthouse. So we're like, 35th anniversary, we're staying at the Wentworth.
So
there you go.
That's
we're
a good idea.
Playing that one.
Yeah.
And that was just out of the blue.
Yeah, we happened to be driving by it. And then he was like, oh, man, we could stay there. It's, it's a local. And I was like, yeah, for our 40th. And he was like, oh, we could do that for our 35th. So it's kind of neat because, like he said, like, we'll be driving somewhere and we'll see other things. And I see a lot of, like, we'll go to some farm stands and they'll have, like, farm stands, but also, like, apple orchards and stuff, and they'll have the farm animals and stuff, and they'll playgrounds, like, and ice cream, or like, oh, this is like a great place for kids, that we would never have known. So I'm making a list of those for future grandchildren.
So that's oh boy, it's exciting. That's
we probably have a list of half a dozen to 10, 12 that we're going to go back to, that just either weren't open or need more exploration. And it's just something to get you out of your normal routine. You work the grind. You got the kids. You got the household stuff. Just get in the car and go.
And you work at Ellis. You both work at Ellis School in Fremont. You're the
facility director.
Award-winning facility director. Right?
Oh yeah, I get the plaque on the wall.
Yeah,
there.
You got it.
2025 New Hampshire Professional of the Year.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you very much.
So okay,
yeah, I've been there. This is the start of my 9th year.
Really?
Heather's been there.
30,
you've been there 30 years. Wow.
And at one point, the whole Normandin family worked there. Willow, our daughter, worked there as well.
She was a substitute.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I think that might be a first for the Ellis School.
Really?
Which is pretty cool.
To have 3.
There's been 2 several times.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Yeah. We love it.
That's cool. Yeah. That's nice.
We drive the same roads to work. Actually, we used to drive the same roads to work, but now they're working on a bridge and the road's closed. So we had to take a different route to work.
So good. Detours, and it's probably good.
Forcing that. Yeah, we've driven through the middle of Raymond a bunch of times, and my eyes are looking at everything. There's a train museum there. I want to stop there. And that's all just because the bridge was closed.
Yeah.
Right?
So taking that detour sometimes
do it
is good.
And we found tons of beautiful dirt roads.
Oh yeah.
Like so many.
Yeah. You just I can't stress it enough that there's so much around us that you bypass just because you want to get home quick. Or you gotta, that's it. But just, I don't want to sound like we're 70 years old out on our Sunday drive.
We are.
But we kind of are. And it's awesome. I'm going to let the secret out. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Just go.
Even like photographs, like we'll find, dirt roads, or like we just went somewhere, I forget where it was, but we turned a bend, and then there was this beautiful farmhouse, and on there, on the roof or on the side of the farmhouse, I forget which, but it was a big American flag, and then there was just fields, and there was and I was like, oh my gosh, like,
it was
that's
like a
not an
puzzle
American,
picture.
that's not an American picture.
Yeah, well, see, that one failed. We were looking for an animal sanctuary, and the road it took us on said it was there, but it wasn't there. So then you kind of like, you're scrambling. Okay, what are we going to find? We need a photo. And luckily, we just came up around the crest of the hill, and we're at the top of it, and this just opened up, and we're like, whoa, you got to take a picture here.
Wow.
And then you see the house, and you're like, who are these people? I need to be friends with these people. This is unbelievable. And we talked about that for the next half hour.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't even the stop.
Right. And like different conversations it leads you to, because so we're in the car for, sometimes we just go out for 3 towns or whatever. But, like he was saying, where you just kind of do the same things. Like we work together. So we talk about work, our daughter, house stuff. So like it brings up different conversations or knowledge, or like he was saying, like, we've been married 30 years, so you kind of think, oh, you know everything about each other. But it's so funny. He would say, like, oh, we'll just be driving, and it won't even be a camp that we're going to. But we're like, oh, little kids camp. And he'll be like, oh, when I was this age, and stories come up that you don't talk about, that don't come up.
It's just a conversation starter. It's a thought provoker. It's just a good time. I couldn't try it once. It may be for you, may not be for you, but just, just take a couple of towns, your neighboring towns, and drive the road you wouldn't drive. I find free stuff on the side of the road all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a scrounge. If I see something good, I'll come back and get it.
Yeah.
You'll see. We found in one town, it was a antique shop in someone's. It was like almost a private property. Remember, it was and they had converted their barn, and they had tons of awesome cats that were roaming around.
I think it was in Farmington. It was called Cardinal something. It was literally an old house from the 1800s, but it was a shop, and it was full of antiques.
Yeah,
and the rooms just went on forever.
We were there a little early, and she saw us outside, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, oh, we're here to do this and that. And she let us in. We were the only ones in there.
Yeah.
And it was great because she was telling us the whole history and the story. And it's overwhelming how much stuff there was. But that was a great time.
We just went last year, I think it was in Stratham, to Rawson's farm. And it's a cut your own flowers and vegetable stand. And the gentleman there, he's been working the farm since he was a kid. He's an elderly man. It's been their family for generations. And it's just old school. And I like hearing elderlies.
Cash only.
Yeah, stories.
I'd asked him, I said, you've been here since a kid, so what do you, it's a main road, a big road that's out in front now. He goes, I remember when that was a dirt road, and if you saw 3 cars a day, and now he says he sees 3,000 cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I go, is that good for business? He's like, no, it should be, but it's not.
Yeah.
But it was cool talking to the old guy. You get a story.
Well, anything else, you guys, that you want to share? I mean, it has been really an amazing journey and still a ways to go, but you've hit, like you said.
We're hoping to finish it off in the next couple of years. There's no rush to.
So that's the plan.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. And going into it, we didn't really have a plan of how many we would do or when we would finish it. I mean, and like you said, it could be a Friday and be like, you want to go hit some towns tomorrow. And then that night we'll be doing it. Or we'll know and be like, hey, like in 2 weekends we're free. It's, let's go do that. But like he said, we also are like, oh, let's not rush it because it gives us something to do together. It's, it's pretty cool. And like we'll hit the, north when it's not rental season, for us, because then we'll have more free time.
Well, I appreciate you guys sitting down, sharing, and I hope that maybe you've inspired others to kind of take go off the beaten path a little bit and explore New Hampshire, because there's so much to see and do.
If they do, they should reach out. I'd love to hear other people's stories of what they find, compare notes.
Or they could comment in their town and what we should do.
Yes. Oh, that's, because you still got a lot of towns to
go
hit. So, we get some ideas and places and, well, awesome. Well, thanks again for taking the time and sharing your story. And I'm going to look through this book a little more. This is just a fascinating book. Look at this thing. Isn't it great? It's just awesome. You're running out of pages though. You got a few more.
I bought this thinking it would be enough, and I obviously did my math wrong.
Okay.
I'm a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
You don't count that high.
Yeah. Let's just take a look and see if there's any. Yeah. Well, Awesome. Well, thanks again. And until next time, remember, every person and every place has a story to tell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in to Grounded and Granite. If you've enjoyed today's episode, hit the YouTube subscribe button. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio.